Welcome back to the Ultimate Universe. Many things within this universe are the same, but just as many things are different. This is the continued Saturday morning story of Ultimate Spider-Man. When we last left off, he just met his newest villain, Oct. After seeing the destruction caused by Otto Octavius, Peter goes to check on the surviving scientists that are crawling out of the debris. He tells the man to hang on, and then his spider sense begins to go off. Metal arms begin to shoot past Peter, hitting him in the head and knocking him down. Otto picks up Peter's body, asking, "What is this ridiculousness?" Peter mumbles out some words, and Otto leans in, asking, "What?" And Peter tells him, "You're one to talk," and he claps his hands on the side of Otto's head. As Oct stumbles backwards, Peter kicks free by kicking him in the head and then knocking away his glasses. Otto goes to cover his eyes, and Peter tells him that that's the least of his problems. First of all, why the green jumpsuit? Peter webs up the metal arms, and as they flail around, the web stretches and then it snaps. And Peter realizes that this could be a problem. The arms begin whipping around, and Peter blocks and dodges them. And then one of them shoots up, hitting him in the head. Oct then picks up Peter's body and tries to hit him. But while Peter tries to defend himself, one of the arms begins to change, and it shocks Peter. His body is flung from the facility to the outside, where it bounces onto the pier. He then starts to wake back up and realizes that he can hear voices. And then his spider sense goes off again. He looks back to see the police SWAT team surrounding him, all pointing their guns at him. One of the officers shouts for him not to move, or they'll blow off his mutant freak head. The officers then get down and begin to place Spider-Man in handcuffs, but Agent Carter steps up, stating that she'll take it from here. The officers all argue that this is their bust, but while Agent Carter and the officer go on, Peter points, asking if Charlton Heston is over there. And of course everyone looks. He jumps up from the grips of the SHIELD officers, and he begins to web up everyone before jumping off of the pier and into the water. Agent Carter shouts for everyone to go after him, but as the agents jump in after Peter, all they find is his torn suit. A little while later, he heads home to watch the news, and on it, Justin Hammer states that he's not sure who that Spider-Man guy was, but they all have their concerns if he's the one who attacked. Peter shouts, "Come on!" and Mary Jane tells him to just ignore it. He says that he's just trying to help people, but instead he keeps getting his butt kicked every time he goes out. Mary Jane suggests that maybe he should learn some kung fu or something, but really she needs to get going anyway. He can work on that later. She then gives him a kiss and says that she'll be by tomorrow after school so they can patch up the costume. Once Mary Jane leaves, Peter sits back down to watch the news, and all of the reporters begin to say how hopefully Kraven will be around to teach that weasel Spider-Man a real lesson. But as Peter sits back down trying to figure out what his next move is, he hears Aunt May's voice asking if he's home. He begins to panic as he's still in half of his Spider-Man costume, and he jumps out of the basement and crawls up to the bathroom. As he stumbles through the window, May hears the thump from upstairs and asks what's going on. Peter says that he's having stomach problems, but he'll be fine. She tells him okay, well, she brought him dinner just in case he needs anything. And the next day at school, the camera crews begin to set up their scene with Kraven when one of the workers explains to everyone that they need to try and act natural when Kraven comes in. All of the students begin to gather around, and Gwen sees Peter and asks what happened. Did those jerks beat him up again? Peter tells her no, he just fell is all. And Mary Jane says, yeah, down the stairs. But as Mary Jane gives Peter a glaring look, Gwen checks on his face, and Kraven walks in. He heads over to the hole that was created in the fight between Spider-Man and Goblin, and he begins to sniff. Everyone watches as he examines the hole, and then he turns back. Peter looks as Kraven begins to sniff through the crowds, and then he shoots a look right towards Peter Parker, and he keeps moving. Gwen asks if it's just her, or does that guy vaguely smell like kitty litter? Kraven stops and glares at her, and Gwen waves back. Later, reports start to swarm around that Justin Hammer is trying to get a statement about what happened at the dome. Justin rushes by to get away, and as he heads up the elevator, he tells his assistant Judith that the whole thing is going rather poorly. But as the elevator opens, Spider-Man's voice asks him, "How do you think I feel?" Spider-Man is sitting at Justin Hammer's desk reading his address book, stating, "You stink, and on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the stinkiest, you're totally like a 14. One of Justin's bodyguards reaches for his gun, but Peter webs up his arm, and then he webs up the second bodyguard. As Judith pulls out her phone, he webs her up too. And after seeing that it was just a phone, he tells her, "My bad." Justin tells Spider-Man that he has some nerve, so he hops off the desk, stating, "You've got some real nerve. In fact, I was trying to help the other day. I already have a bad enough rep with the public. I just wanted to stop by and state that whatever you and Oct have going on, you can have at it, because I'm going home." Justin Hammer stops for a second and then asks, "How much?" Peter responds quickly with, "What do you mean?" And Justin tells him, "The doctor. How much would it take for you to take care of him?" "How about 50,000? Peter responds rather angrily, "First you slam me in the press, and now you're offering me money for something that I was going to do for free before I got slammed in the press?" Spider-Man leaps out the window stating, "You're what people refer to as a piece of work." and he leaves. Justin says that it was worth a shot, and then Judith says that there's a call for him. It's the doctor from the Jersey facility. The screen comes on with the doctor, and he doesn't say anything. Justin asks if he can hear them, and then blood begins to drip from his lip, and his body is thrown to the side. Doc Ock, Otto Octavius, appears on the screen, and Justin asks what is he doing. Otto tells him, "This is something of a payback for making me like this." Justin tells him, "If you have any issues with me, we need to talk face to face." And Doc Ock says, "That's true. Come meet me at this facility." A short while later, Justin heads out and notices that everyone in their cars is honking at him. Judith asks what they're honking for, and it's because Peter is riding atop of the limo. As Justin pulls up on his facility, he starts to see the news trucks all gathering around, and then he sees him, Doc Ock. Otto tells Justin to come out and admit his sins. The press would like to hear all about the things that are going on here. And then one of his metal arms begins to tap on the limo window. The driver says that he can get them out of here if they want to turn around. And Judith shouts for him to just do it then. So the driver floors it into reverse. As the limo begins to back out, a metal arm smashes through the window, and others begin to pick up the limo. Otto Octavius shouts that he will not deny him again. And then he begins to shake the limo as his eyes are suddenly webbed up. Spider-Man says that he can't watch this anymore, and he swings in, kicking Doc Ock. He stares at the webbed up arms, and then one of them points towards him and switches to a gun. The arm begins to blindly fire at him and shoots towards the crowds. Doc Ock rips the webbing off of his face, and he asks Spider-Man, why does he keep showing up? Who are you? Another freak that Justin created? As Peter hangs onto one of the metal arms, he tells him, "No, I'm a genetic freak all on my own, thank you. You should rent yourself out as a ride for children." And then Spider-Man is smacked into the side of a news van. Doc Ock keeps whipping around, hitting Spider-Man as the reporters all start to film the fight. Through the dodging, Doc Ock quickly manages to grab a hold of him, and then another arm reaches out and begins to shock him. But as it gets close, Peter webs it up, sending the shock back towards Doc Ock. He's then flung from the grip, and Doc Ock makes his way towards the limo, calling out Justin. As he's getting ready to grab him, a web is shot, hitting Doc Ock's pants, and then he pulls him down. Doc Ock quickly pulls his pants back up, but Peter jumps in, punching him, stating, "I didn't take you for the tighty whities kind of guy." He then kicks Doc Ock and jumps onto him, slamming him into the ground. He webs up his face, and then he grabs and rips off one of the metal arms. As the camera lights all focus on Spider-Man, he sits down exhausted, and then another light shines as Kraven steps out. Peter simply responds with, "Come on, I have a curfew." Kraven shouts, "It is time to do battle." And Spider-Man asks him, "How about we go help the lady in the crushed limo over there?" Spider-Man jumps onto the limo and asks if everything's okay, and Judith says that Justin is dead from a heart attack. Spider-Man looks towards Kraven and says that he's going to rip the door off, so could he grab the girl or... And Kraven shouts, "We will do battle!" So Spider-Man tells him, "No, we won't." Kraven shows his teeth, and Spider-Man asks, "You're kidding, right?" But as Spider-Man asks that, Kraven lunges forward, so Spider-Man steps out of the way, causing him to fall down. Kraven continues to try and attack, and Spider-Man continues to tell him that he really needs to cut it out now. And after a few more swings, Spider-Man finally punches back, knocking Kraven into a car, which knocks him out. Spider-Man then tells everyone, "I did tell him to stop. You all saw that, right?" And as the reporters continue to film him, Spider-Man heads over to the limo and helps Judith out. Judith tells him thank you for saving her, and the crowds begin cheering and clapping. And then one of the reporters walks up and tells him, "That was amazing." Spider-Man tells him, "No, it wasn't. 2 people died." As he begins to leave, the reporters ask if they can ask him a few questions, and he tells them no, he'd rather not. The reporter continues to pester him, telling him that what he did was amazing. Surely he would want to. And Spider-Man stops her and telling her, "You can return the favor by calling me a mutant freak or blaming this on me or something." They try to stop him again because maybe he would want to talk to them. They're live right now, and he tells her, "Fine." So the reporter asks, "What do you want the world to know, Spider-Man?" And he says that he is from a planet many galaxies far, far away. The reporters follow up with, "Really?" And Spider-Man says, "No, I'm just like Otto Octavius. I fell backwards into some powers and just want to help people so that people like Otto Octavius can't hurt anyone." So the reporter asks, "Why wear a mask?" And Spider-Man says that it's because he has friends and family that he doesn't want to put into the spotlight, so he protects them by wearing the mask. Even though wearing the mask might be corny, and it even forces idiots like Kraven to try and come after him, or J. Jonah Jameson to trash him to sell papers, he really doesn't care. And the reporter asks, "Why don't you care?" So Spider-Man says, it's because a guy a whole lot smarter than him told him that with great power comes great responsibility. But either way, the cops are coming. So if everyone's fine, it's time to go. He heads back home, and as soon as he opens the door, Aunt May asks where he's been. He says that he was at work, and May says that's funny because she called there and they said he hasn't been in all week. She gets up looking at his bruises and asks again, where was he? He says that he was fine. It was with Mary Jane. May sits back down, stating, okay. She doesn't mind if he doesn't respect her, but he will respect the rules of this house. And Mary Jane was the first person that she called. May then tells him that until he can stop lying, he's grounded, which means no more bugle, no more Mary Jane giggles in the basement. It's only school and home. Peter smiles, stating, finally, he's a hero who's also grounded. But over in the SHIELD holding cells, Otto Octavius, Doc Ock, is sitting in his cell muttering to himself, asking who Spider-Man is, who could Spider-Man be? And slowly, as he keeps asking himself, he begins to remember something from his past, when Norman Osborn had him following a little kid kid named Parker. Our story of Ultimate Spider-Man has a long way to go, and the plan is to do this all the way up until Homecoming, so if you really like it, I need to know. Give this video a like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you get Ultimate Spider-Man every Saturday, and guys, don't forget, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Comicstorian. Thank you, and have a good day.